Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is all about what I am buying. What are my plans for 2026? I am on this journey with you and I want to talk through my plans, and then you can probably think back and relate them to your plans and have a think about what you're going to spend your money on in 2026. A couple of things to talk about before we jump into the video though. The first one being 30,000 subscribers. It has just ticked over, so I wanted to say thank you very much to everyone that has tuned in. Your support just means the absolute world. The second one is we're getting close to Christmas. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a video on Christmas Day here in Australia. That will be Christmas Day when I'd normally upload Thursday night, which would be Christmas morning in the US. We'll see how we go, but if not, a Merry Christmas to everyone. It is the time of year to cherish those around you, spoil those around you, and I hope everyone has a very, very Merry Christmas. The third thing I wanted to chat about is to all the UK viewers that tune in, which is about, according to the YouTube data, 12%. This is probably going to mean nothing to Americans, unless you like cricket, that is. Unfortunate loss. Australia were just too good. There was massive talk about the English cricket side coming down and taking the Ashes back, and unfortunately that just wasn't the case. Australia were too good. Travis Head for Prime Minister. What a performance from the boys if you're into your cricket. Now, on to today's video topic. What I am buying in 2026. What are my future plans? And before we talk about the future plans, I think it's a really good time to talk about the now, or even the last 12 months. So I mentioned at the very start of this video that I'm on this journey with you. Like there's no point giving someone instructions or telling someone to do something if you're not willing to do them yourself or you haven't done them yourself in the past. For example, you could be a fantastic coach that hasn't played the sport you played for 20 years, but you were phenomenally good and have a performance record to prove it in the past. So if you've done it in the past and you were successful at it, of course, you have the credibility to talk to someone else. The other side of the coin is if you're doing it with someone, you know, that's where the, I suppose, credibility comes from. So I wouldn't ask or tell anyone to do something that I'm not willing to do myself. And I guess if we look at these last 12 months, realistically, for the most part of 2025 has been a seller's market. It's only been the last probably 6 to 8 weeks that we've probably seen a bit of a downturn in the hobby. And my advice for nearly the whole of 2025 has been, if you cannot buy something modern at recommended retail price, there's really no point buying it. When you look at all the videos I've done this year stating, you know, what booster boxes to pick up, what sealed products are good investments right now, it's everything that's from the past, or particularly recently, everything that's seen downturns in the market, like Sword and Shield booster boxes, things like Brilliant Stars, Astral Radiance, Chilling Reign that might have pulled back 20%. These are good pickups right now, and that's where my advice has been coming from. I haven't been telling people to go out and buy, you know, any modern product for twice recommended retail price. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And this is another quote that I live by whenever I invest in anything, whether it's stocks, whether it's Pokemon cards, whether it's real estate. The most important one though, or the funnest one I should say, right here that we discuss on this channel all the time being Pokemon cards. This quote stands true to all of them, but definitely Pokemon cards as well. And that is, be fearful when other people are greedy and be greedy when other people are fearful. And that's why I wanted to talk about 2025 being a seller's market. Like, there just wasn't many deals around, was there? Everyone was greedy. Everyone was buying up retail products, using bots, using everything else to get it as cheap as possible to flip it on the secondary market. So for a lot of people, the only opportunity to be able to buy something was to buy it on the secondary market at twice recommended retail price, or in some cases 3 times recommended retail price. And what happens there is you've already absorbed so much of your margin, or so much, of your possible growth that you might have achieved in the next 18 months to 2 years. It's already been absorbed by everything being 2 to 3 times recommended retail price from the start. So it makes no sense. That's why, personally, I haven't bought a great deal this year unless I got it at recommended retail price, which I'm very lucky I have a local gaming store that does have limits on supply. Like, he's not just going to give me everything, but he gives me enough. You know, he'll give me a couple, well, I got 3 booster boxes of Destined Rivals. This is just example. For argument's sake, I got 3 Destined Rivals booster boxes at recommended retail price, like 250 Australian dollars, which works out to be about 170, 175 USD. Anytime an Elite Trainer box comes out, Destined Rivals, Phantasmal Flames, Prismatic Evolutions, very, very good, very, very nice. Lets me pick them up at recommended retail price. Now, I can't buy his whole stock because, you know, people go there and play games, and I have a chat to a few of the guys that go there and girls that play the card game, and, you know, it's good fun in that place. It's as a card shop should be. It's a community-based, supporting its players and also supporting those that wants to rip packs and to keep stuff sealed as well as investments. So hats off to that local gaming store. But that's what I've been buying. Other than that, the only other things that I've really picked up in 2025 in bulk is Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer boxes. I really, really believe in that set. I think it's going to be a phenomenal product in the future, but it's going to take some time. And what it reminds me of is a lot of Hidden Fates. Hidden Fates was a phenomenal Pokemon card set, but it got massive print waves and it was printed really heavy. And every time it started to creep up, you know, when it started to creep up towards 150 US dollars or 180 US dollars, bang, a reprint came and knocked it straight back down to 100 US dollars. Then it started to creep up, then bang, a reprint came and knocked it back down. Much like we've seen with Prismatic Evolutions. But look at Hidden Fates now. I know it's taken actually a bit of a hit over the last 6 months in this downturn of products because there's still a fair bit of supply of Hidden Fates on the market. Like, it was so heavily printed, it's going to take a while to wash out that product. But that's what Prismatic Evolutions reminds me of. And I'm thinking, you know what? Hidden Fates Elite Trainer boxes, I bought half a dozen of them. What are we talking now? 5 years ago, nearly 4.5, 5 years ago, and I picked them up for about 180 Australian dollars, and now they're going for about 600, 650 Australian dollars. So it's 3.5 to 4x the money in 4 to 5 years. And you know what? That is a phenomenal return on investment. And even though Prismatic Evolutions has been printed like crazy and more people than ever are storing them and keeping them sealed, the same can be said for Hidden Fates. Like, that exact same conversation was happening 4.5 years ago with Hidden Fates. You know, during the rise of this influencer era, Pokemon investing YouTube era, at the end of 2020, start of 2021, Hidden Fates was still copying reprints, and everyone was saying everyone was keeping that product sealed. Much like everyone's saying Prismatic Evolutions, everyone's keeping it sealed. The exact same things happen there. Like, I can just see Prismatic Evolutions doing the exact same thing as Hidden Fates. It's too good a set with too many good chase cards with incredibly high PSA 10 populations. The Umbreon EX is going to have a lower PSA 10 population than the Moonbreon from Evolving Skies. Much harder to gem into 10. It's only sitting at about like 3,500 PSA 10 copies after nearly a year of release, whereas the Umbreon after a year was sitting at like 8,000 to 10,000 copies after the first year. So interesting to see where this will go. I think that would be a very good investment, and I've said that's what I'm buying. That's when I talk about going on this journey with you all, that, like, I'm making the decisions and the plays with you. So where to from here? And before we talk about where to, this is one of those videos where you don't need to watch. There's nothing up on the screen, but I did want to also give a big shout out to the video sponsor for the whole year, the whole of 2025, which has of course been the Collector app. There'll be a link in the description to download. It is the one-stop shop for not only storing your collection in there digitally to see what sort of movements and market changes that's happening for your sealed and your singles, but as an investor and making smart plays and analyzing data, it's just the best app for it. All the set analytics are in there. If you're a pro user, you can go back in time and see so much data around what has happened, and that gives you an idea for the future. Like, you can look at Hidden Fates and go, okay, based on print runs, it's done this. Prismatic Evolutions, which I think is every bit as strong a set, maybe even stronger in some circumstances, should follow the same sort of trend as a market mover in the future. And then you can predict what sort of gains you might possibly get from that product. Like, I predict 16, what am I up to now? I think 16 Elite Trainer boxes of Prismatic Evolutions. I think they're going to 3 to 4x in the next 4.5 to 5 years. That's what I predict. And I'm like, what fantastic returns. Like, that is so, so good. But moving on to what we're gonna buy in the future, 2026. Now, let's go back to that quote that I was talking about, which is, be greedy when other people are fearful, and be fearful when other people are greedy. I think we're going to see some market changes a little bit. Like, I guess we have over the last 2 to 3 months, but we sort of normally see that this time of the year. Obviously Christmas, holiday, I haven't bought much at all in the last 4 to 5 weeks because it's just that time of year. So don't put pressure on yourself to just constantly buy. Like, you don't need to. Like, last 4 to 5 weeks, it's Christmas. Like, buy your loved ones presents. Save up for that holiday and put money towards that so you can go have an experience and an enjoyable time of something and create memories with those around you that mean something, whether it's friends or family. Like, you don't need to constantly buy. But when we talk about 2026 game plan, that's where I've been the last 5 weeks, is putting money aside for Christmas presents and a holiday. And 2026 though is shaping up, in my opinion, to be an interesting year. On one hand, we have this dilemma that everyone's going, oh, the Pokemon card market's crashing, it's on its way down, which in my opinion is just normal at this time of year. And everyone's turning their money towards One Piece. That's the new Diamond Hands, that's the new play, that's the new quick flip for the sneaker bros and investment bros. And it's like, well, yes and no. Like, we've also got the other side of the coin is we've got Ascended Heroes around the corner, which looks to be one hell of a Pokemon card set. We've also got 30th anniversary around the corner, and we've also got this announcement of, and I'm going to do a video on this in the not too distant future, this announcement of, the Millennium Print Group, which is owned by the Pokemon Company International, leasing new printing facilities, which looks like they could ramp up production to an insane level. Unprecedented levels, which actually surprises me, but I'm going to use all those thoughts for another video. That's not what we're talking about. But 2026 looks like it's going to have some phenomenal Pokemon card sets on the horizon, starting with Ascended Heroes. The Mega Evolution block so far is proving to be quite a strong block, and it'll be interesting to see where it goes. In terms of my spending, here's the worry, right? If we talk about, and I know I said this video is not going to be about this, but if we talk about that new printing facility, my opinion is nothing in Evolution's block, nothing in Mega Evolution's block is going to be safe. Like, they're all going to be in rotation well and truly into this new facility being open and printing cards. Will all Scarlet and Violet be safe? Quite possibly. Will something like Destined Rivals be safe, or Black and White be safe? Will they go back, in 2027 and print those sets? I mean, who knows? You're going to have a massive crystal ball out to even think about those things. But I would definitely say nothing from Mega Evolution era is safe. So where to spend your money, or where would I spend my money if I was a betting man? I think it's a pretty safe I think it's a pretty safe bet. Anything that's going out of rotation from Scarlet and Violet era, I think they're going to be very, very safe plays. So I'm going to make plays moving towards sets like Paldea and Fates. I want to make plays on sets like Paldea Evolved. I also want to go back and buy a few more booster boxes from Sword and Shield era. I've said for a while that, some of the best pickups this time of year, with the market dropping and people turning their attention to other things and seeing these booster boxes go down in price, Brilliant Stars is one hell of a Pokemon card set. I don't think it cops or gets enough credit as it deserves. I think that's a really good Pokemon set and a really strong pickup. Chilling Reign is still so undervalued. It is arguably the most undervalued booster box from the whole Sword and Shield era. It just doesn't match up. The total set value is too high based on the booster box price. It just does not match up. Even Battle Styles doesn't match up as a complete oddball. Battle Styles cops so much criticism, but it's a better Pokemon card set than people give it credit for. Like, that Sleeping Tyranitar looks cool. The Urshifus look cool. The Empoleon is one extremely good looking Pokemon card. Look, pull rates are atrocious. I'm just using that one out of left field. My point is, there are a lot of Sword and Shield booster boxes, including sets like Lost Origin, including Fusion Strike, including Astral Radiance, even Silver Tempest with that Lugia that has one ridiculous PSA population of over 20,000 PSA 10s, even Evolving Skies after the dip. These are all good pickups, and I want to add to my position on them. I have, I think, 5 Astral Radiance, 3 Silver Tempest, 3 Lost Origin, 5 Fusion Strike, only 1 Brilliant Stars. Brilliant Stars is definitely going to be my next pickup in 2026. Once we get this holiday period out of the way and I can transfer some more funds towards buying Pokemon cards again in 2026, that's where I'm turning my attention. Where is everyone else turning their attention? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for tuning into the channel and the support for 30,000 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. It of course helps the channel, and I'll catch everyone next time.